Well, good morning. I'm Tony Stamas, President and CEO of the Midland Business Alliance, and I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us for our first quarter membership program. We're so glad you could be with us today. Before we get started with the program, I do want to spend a few minutes in reflection. This week marks the one-year anniversary of the COVID-19 global pandemic. So if you think back, March 10th of 2020, we first saw the cancellations for large-scale events, such as conferences and conferences. On March 11th, the World Health Organization labeled the situation a pandemic, and things began to shut down even more. The NBA suspended their season at that point. On March 12th, the New York Post front page read that the world had turned upside down, and the Associated Press reported that people around the world were quickly becoming increasingly closed off from one another. March 13th, companies began that shift from work to home format. More events were put on hold, stocks plummeted, and the following week, routine life was all but gone. And very few of us realized it wouldn't be back we're still going into for months, and now we're going into the second year. Today's event, our annual State of the City address, was the last large in-person event hosted by the Midland Business Alliance in 2020 on March 10th. As in previous years, it was highly anticipated, well-attended, and an all-around successful event. In fact, as I recall, it may well have been the last time that I wore a tie before today. So we had no idea at the time that we would be spending the next 12 months interpreting dozens of executive orders, hosting COVID-related events, engaging in more than 400 communications to help support our members, create toolkits, process over 1.3 million in grants to small businesses. The reality is our state has suffered a loss of over 15,000 residents to COVID-19 and economic disruption like we've really never seen before. Yet today, a year later, we are optimistic and we're grateful, and we're heartened that light is on the horizon. We have 3 new effective vaccines. The metrics have been going lower, and hopefully it will continue to remain low. The economy is slowly returning to normal. So, yeah, there's still a lot of work to do. We're not there yet. And certainly new challenges will pop up. But we are beginning to turn a corner. And we've done it together. We have strong, resilient business community here in Midland, and we weathered a year like no other. So even through the tough times, we have seen victories right here in Midland, and I know our great Mayor Maureen Donker will walk us through those in her remarks in just a few minutes. So now, before we get started, I want to take care of a couple items of business. We want to recognize several elected and appointed officials who are with us today. Now, with this format, you can't see them the way as we're utilizing this, but we know they're there in the viewing office, and we want to make sure that we recognize them. So we're happy to have with us Bridget Granston, our Midland County Administrator Controller, Chair of the County Board of Commissioners, Mark Bone, Commissioner Eric Dorian, Brad Kay, City Manager for the City of Midland. And we also have State Representative Annette Glenn joining us today, as well as Ashton Bortz, representing Congressman John Molinar, and Bryce Webster on behalf of State Senator Jim Stamas. I know that you join me in thanking these individuals for their service. We appreciate all they do for the community, especially over this past very difficult year. Thank you. Next, I want to make sure that I acknowledge our Midland Business Alliance board members who are joining us today. Again, Bridget Granston with Midland County, Cal Yeiter with Yeiter Insurance Group, Dee Weber with Mid-Michigan Health, Doyle Beneby with MCV, J.W. Fisher with Fisher Contracting, John Lynch with Three Rivers Corporation, Jordan Summers, TCF Bank, Kim Krantz, Coffee Chaos, Leanne Rouse with Omnitech International, Madhu Rishi, Physical Therapy and Rehab Specialist, Marcel Venkleer with Corteva AgriScience, Mark Bone with Bone & Bailey Insurance, Mike Williams with Isabella Bank, and Sean Wilson with Saginaw Valley State University. Thanks to all those individuals for their ongoing leadership of the Midland Business Alliance. And I only want to also express our gratitude to Three Rivers Corporation for their sponsorship of today's event. We're going to hear from John Lynch, the president of Three Rivers Corporation, and our immediate past chair for the MBA Board of Directors in just a few minutes. And thanks to all of our members who have helped make these programs such as this possible throughout the entire year. I do want to take a minute to recognize our 2021 Platinum and Diamond level sponsors and thank them for their ongoing commitment to the Midland Business Alliance. You'll see their logos and business names on the screen. Our Diamond partners are First State Bank, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Bone & Bailey Insurance Agency, CBM Services, Inc., Corteva AgriScience, Dow, DTE Energy, Fisher Companies, Garber Chevrolet, Yeiter Insurance Agency, Isabella Bank, McLaren Bay Region, Members First Credit Union, Mercury Telecom, Midland Cogeneration Venture, Midland Daily News, Mid-Michigan Health, the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational Eat Great, Saginaw Valley State University, Spence Brothers, TCF Bank, Trinzio LLC, and Three Rivers Corporation. And also our platinum partners, Central Michigan University, DuPont, Great Lakes Bay Regional CVB, Greater Midland Tennis Center, Northwood University, Posnack Dyer K&R Shefsky Thompson PLC, TriStar Trust, and Wildfire Credit Union. We applaud their commitment to the Midland Business Alliance and to our community. And now just a few minutes to preview some upcoming events we've got. Next week, we have a Power Up Leadership program for college-age women. A great program. It's an online conference. And we also have our first Issues and Answers program of 2021. So registration for the Issues and Answers is now open on our website. On April 9th, of course, we're hosting another Wake Up Midland program. We're going to have a ribbon cutting plan for April 13th at Glow Skin Spa. And our first in-person business after hours since last February is planned for April 21st at the new McLaren Bay Region facility located on Joe Mann Boulevard. So more details on all those events can be found on our website, www.mbami.org. Lastly, I do want to remind everybody there's still time to apply for the MBA Alliance Awards. We're accepting applications until March 19th. The Alliance Awards are $1,500 scholarships, and they're awarded to 3 deserving students studying at any of our 9 member institutions of higher learning, including Greater Michigan Construction Academy. We also welcome past recipients to reapply or anyone in undergraduate studies at these institutions. Applications are available on our website. So with all of that, again, thank you for being with us. I'm pleased to introduce a friend and great community leader, John Lynch, president of Three Rivers Corporation and today's event sponsor. And John gets to introduce our featured speaker. John.
Thank you very much, Tony. I appreciate that. As you think about how you know Three Rivers Corporation, perhaps you know us by virtue of our 45-year history, providing architectural design, construction management, or general contracting services to the Midland community, the Great Lakes Bay region, or the state of Michigan. Or maybe you know Three Rivers Corporation by the hundreds of white trucks with our logos on them that you see ferrying our employees, 400 plus, to and from the job sites along with their tools. Or perhaps you know us by virtue of community landmarks that we had the privilege to build and bring to life on behalf of customers of ours. Places like Dow Diamond, the Midland Country Club, the Whiting Forest Overlook, the Heart and Vascular Center at Mid-Michigan Medical Center Midland, a state-of-the-art facility of over 170,000 square feet, or maybe even one of our older projects like Midland City Hall, a place that I became intimately familiar with during my 17-year term of service to the city of Midland. During 10 of those years, I had the good fortune to be able to work directly with Mayor Maureen Donker. Now, the last time that I introduced the mayor at one of these events, I spoke to what a fantastic human being she is and what a wonderful mayor she is. And I accidentally brought her to tears. And we don't want that. And so today I want to rely on her own words, quotes attributed directly to her over her term as mayor. And she became mayor, becoming the first female mayor for the city in its history in November of 2009. At that point, she said, I was thrilled when Tom, another council member, nominated me for the position. I've worked hard on the council for the past 2 years. And we have 2 new council persons, and it'll be wonderful to work with a new council. I intend to do a good job, and I know there's lots more to learn. Now, fast forward through 6 more cycles of being appointed mayor by the council members. This last go-round, November of 2020, she said, I want to thank all of you for the confidence that you're placing in me. We live in a wonderful city, and I promise, I pledge to all of you that I'll work with each of you and our staff to help continue making Midland the great city that it is. And the mayor is pretty excited and demanding about the services that the community receives from the city. In fact, in comments that she made to the U.S. House of Representatives in a forum on Coronavirus Community Relief Act, she said, my residents pay their taxes on time, and they correctly expect good and uninterrupted service from City Hall. Survival is not and should not be the objective for local governments, but local governments want to be in a position to come out of this crisis and help our residents not just recover, but to also thrive. And finally, with regard to thriving, the mayor was recognized by the Michigan Municipal League as a community builder in 2019. And at that time, she said, one of my high school nuns would always tell us, no matter what you accomplished in life, somebody helped you. I've had help from a lot of people. And one of the things I love most about this role is truly the people that I get an opportunity to work with every day. Really, I've been the one who's been most impacted. We're doing wonderful work in Midland. We want to be a city of choice, the place where businesses locate and people want to live. And you can't do just one thing to make that happen. You have to do lots of things. And certainly, you can't do this work alone. And on one of her favorite subjects, Mayor Donker speaks on neighboring and well-being by saying, a sense of belonging is one of the highest indicators of well-being. It doesn't have to be a huge community project. It can be as easy as saying hello to your neighbor. Every little thing makes a difference. And so to tell us about every little thing in her own words, I'd like to introduce to you Mayor Maureen Donker.
Midland is not a place where everyone thrives, and I refuse to believe that last year made us stronger. I realize this may be a shock, but we are a community that is abundantly blessed is just not true. 2020 was the worst year ever. One day we will tell our children every man for himself is more important than caring for each other. We are certain we discovered new ways to relate, but this is a lie. It will be too hard to recover from last year. Experts tell me it is best to be right. I do not conclude that it is best to be kind. We will always believe scarcity and self-preservation will prevail. No longer can it be said that our success lies in our amazing people. It is obvious that we can't get along. It is silly to presume that respecting differences is the essence of who we are, and Midland is a place where everyone thrives.
We can accept the negativity of some and choose to be defeated by our circumstances. But I refuse to do that, and I hope that you do too. Let's take a look at this poem in a different way.
Midland is a place where everyone thrives. Respecting differences is the essence of who we are, and it is silly to presume that we can't get along. It is obvious that our success lies in our amazing people. No longer can it be said that scarcity and self-preservation will prevail. We will always believe it is best to be kind. I do not conclude that it is best to be right. Experts tell me it will be too hard to recover from last year, but this is a lie. We discovered new ways to relate. We are certain caring for each other is more important than every man for himself. One day we will tell our children, 2020 was the worst year ever is just not true. We are a community that is abundantly blessed. I realize this may be a shock, but last year made us stronger. And I refuse to believe that Midland is not a place where everyone thrives.
Isn't it amazing how a shift in perspective can change everything? That is the same shift that we saw last year, all year long, as we were faced with some incredible obstacles. Thank you, John, for the kind introduction. And thank you, Tony and Diane, for the invitation to be here. And my thanks to all of you for being here virtually to hear about your city. I am pleased to be joined by my colleagues on council. Pam Hall, Ward 1, Steve Arnosky, Ward 3, Diane Brown-Wilhelm, Ward 4, Mayor Pro Tem Marty Wospinski, Ward 5. And some of our amazing staff are here today also. It is such an honor to work with them. I know if we were together, you would join me in thanking them for the wonderful job that they do taking care of our community. We did face some incredible obstacles last year. 2020 was an unprecedented year in Midland's history. At this time, we were all together joking, well, how do we really greet each other? We can't shake hands. What about this elbow bump? So much has changed since then. The pandemic has impacted all of us, as individuals, as a family, as part of our social circles, in our schools, in our places of worship, and most certainly from a business perspective. It has taken self-discipline and collaboration to redefine our way of life. And I think all of you should congratulate yourself for that. We need to thank those who have worked to keep us safe. Among the many are Midland's essential worker, those who put themselves at risk to maintain the services and functions that are mandatory to daily life. And we need to acknowledge our Midland Health Department, Mid-Michigan Health, and our schools for their Herculean efforts to rise to the pandemic's challenges. This pandemic has stretched all of us, and no doubt our businesses have suffered. Yet this has spurred operational innovation, community pride in and accountability for buying local, and a greater awareness of how Midland's merchants and service providers are not just enhancements to our community, but very much a vital part of it. In the midst of this pandemic, we were devastated by the flooding caused by the failure of 2 dams. We had received a substantial amount of rain, and on Tuesday, May 19th, alarms sounded, and within hours, 10,000 people from within the city had been evacuated from their homes without the loss of a single life. We could not have gotten through the immediacy of this crisis without the strength of our community. Neighbors helped neighbors, local organizations, our community and family foundations, United Way, service clubs, churches, all played a part. This was a disaster of national proportion occurring during a pandemic, and people from across the state and nation came to help us. And as they were hurting, our community reached out to help those who were on the outskirts of Midland with fewer resources. We were not bound by geographic boundaries. We were bound by empathy and compassion. It'll take us time to fully recover, but in times like this, you truly see what an amazing, resilient community we are. So let me talk about some of our progress in 2020 and some of what you will see in 2021. We continue to focus on the goals that work so well for us. These goals drive council's decision in the work of our staff every day. Economic sustainability, effective utilization of resources, and providing services that enhance quality of life. This is what I see to be our 3 main challenges. The first is flood response. We need to determine what should be our scope of work we undertake to respond to past flooding, and we need to determine how we're going to be able to pay for those undertakings. Going hand in hand with that is our second challenge, community cooperation and buy-in. The flood response is going to depend, at least in part, on the cooperation of the community. Response plans, such as a footing drain disconnect program, will directly involve people and their own homes, while any infrastructure improvements will require the support from the broader community. The challenge we face is, how do we engage our community and get buy-in from everyone, not just those who are impacted by the flood? And the third challenge, FEMA. FEMA can be enormously impactful, but it's a long, slow process. Our library and one of our senior housing facilities, Riverside, still remain partially closed because of the process we must follow for FEMA reimbursement. Moving these forward is critical to restoring full city services. As we work through this, we just ask for your patience. We hope to get through this process soon. At our annual planning session in January, Council's directive to staff as they prepare the budget was to maintain services at the highest level financially feasible under the current economic and budget conditions. That we would add an additional $100,000 to the stormwater fund, an additional $500,000 to the wastewater fund, and we want to maintain our current level in the general fund unreserved fund balance of $6 million. Last year, we said that we would consider up to a $500,000 increase in the millage. Then with the pandemic, it was the agreement of council and staff that we would not raise the millage. Again this year, it is our recommendation that there be no increase in the millage rate. This is what the millage rate has looked like since 2015. Now let me tell you about some of the things that we have accomplished. In January, City Council adopted a code of conduct. Last year was not the finest year for government at any level. Disagreement is normal and natural in government, but it's how you have those conversations. That's what's important. We believed that we could do better. So we adopted a code of conduct for ourselves, and it will be used to guide our city boards and commissions. Each of us have signed this, and we are holding ourselves accountable to it because we believe this is what you expect from us, and it's truly what you deserve. Also in January, we kicked off City Modern, our city's master planning process. The master plan is a comprehensive long-range guide for managing growth and development of the Midland community. This is an opportunity for you to share your thoughts and to help plan Midland's future for the next 30 years. Please watch. More information is going to be coming, and we truly hope that you will participate in this process. In the fall, we broke ground for the Miracle Field. This is a $2.1 million project, and it will begin construction soon. We hope to be playing ball in the fall. This is a barrier-free, accessible baseball field for children and adults with disabilities. We are still in the fundraising stage for the final amenities, and we certainly would appreciate any help that you could provide. The first phase of the Grove Park renovation is completed. It includes a basketball court, a fenced-in playground, a pavilion, and a beautiful custom archway sign that was designed and made in-house by our talented parks employees. This spring, thanks to a $100,000 grant from the Community Foundation, you will see construction of the Pine Street Promenade. This will be an accessible 12-foot wide walkway spanning this 5.2-acre park. It will be lined with trees and decorative lighting. Also this fall, you will see Eagle Ridge Nature Preserve. This is 140 acres of land adjacent to Stratford Woods. This area will include beautiful primitive trails and a fully accessible wetland area. This wonderful addition to our park system was donated to us by Dow. In January, the council concluded a 2.5-year community conversation on the future of the Butler Street corridor. It was not an easy conversation. Some people loved the idea and others did not. But when it comes down to it, Midland had a choice. We could maintain the corridor in its current state, or we could look to the future and seize an opportunity to make some changes that would help us address some of the challenges that we face in our downtown area. MDOT plans to rebuild this corridor for the first time since 1962. They will be coming forward with a design transitioning Bottles from a 3-lane to a 2-lane thoroughfare. It will include turn lanes, and they will be taking into consideration the other safety concerns expressed by our community. Soon, MDOT will be holding an open house. If you are interested in learning more about this project, you can do so by listening to Word on the Street podcast, which you can access through our website. In November, our police department welcomed their newest canine recruit, Leo, law enforcement officer. Leo is a 2-year-old German Shepherd. He came to us from Poland. He is dual trained in narcotics and tracking. His partner is Officer Josh Thalen, who joined the police department in 2012. Last year, our city clerk successfully conducted 3 elections during a pandemic and flood recovery. Many of our citizens were displaced from their homes and their internet and their mail access, but our city clerk's office worked to get them exactly what they needed for voting. More than 15,000 people voted by absentee ballot in November alone. Erica and her team did a fabulous job, and everything was accomplished successfully and with excellence. And last month, MCTV became available through Roku and Apple TV streaming devices, furthering our ability to provide an open and transparent communications to our community. So now you can watch city council meetings, school board meetings, or your favorite episode of The Spark through MCTV cable channels, via the website, and on Roku and Apple TV. We have many wonderful collaborative efforts happening in our community, and I would like to just take this opportunity to update you on some of their work, starting with DEI. We have a community with limited diversity, yet we face some of the same concerns that larger communities do in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Though we've been working on this for quite a while, the killing of George Floyd elevated our community conversations to a place where I think they should have been years ago. City Council has adopted a resolution supporting the work of the We Hear You Coalition. In February, we launched a survey which was funded by the Community Foundation, giving the citizens of Midland an opportunity to share their experience and perspective as it relates to equity or the lack thereof. The information we gather will be used to help us better understand, identify, and address issues of racial and ethnic inequality within the broader community. The information will be shared with the public through a dashboard, which you can access on the city's website, and you can also access that through the Community Foundation's website. If you haven't taken the survey, please, I encourage you to do so. It will be ending March 22nd. We have many businesses and organizations that have been engaging in this work, and I want to take the opportunity to give a shout out to Midland Public Schools, who just hired DeAndre Hogan, who is their first Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director. Well, and we continue to work on well-being. We were able to begin this work because of the generosity of our many wonderful foundations. Last year, we created the Midland Area Wellbeing Coalition, which is a group of over 80 members from across the community who are working to help Midland achieve their vision of being a place where everyone thrives. The coalition is supported by the Community Success Panel, and Kathy Snyder is serving as its coordinator. They have all kinds of information and wonderful training for individuals, groups, and organizations, so I encourage you to check it out. They really have wonderful stuff. And we continue to have a great relationship with the University of Pennsylvania's School of Applied Positive Psychology. Last year, one of the programs that they did for Midland was to create a civility training program for our community, which I think was incredibly timely. The morning and noon Rotary Clubs have members who have gone through the civility Train the Trainer, and they are now training their club members with the idea that club members will help provide these opportunities for civility conversations across our community. And I am pleased to say that Midland was again chosen for the 7th year in a row to have another project with Penn. And this year's project will focus on individuals with disabilities. As John said, neighboring is something I really care deeply about. And I think this past year, we truly witnessed neighboring as its finest. Midland Neighboring is an initiative that was started in 2011, and that was 10 years ago. And it was led by our faith-based community. It has really evolved since that time. Though neighboring takes place every day here, we have begun a concerted effort of promoting it through the celebration of Neighboring Week, which takes place the last week in September. The Cultural Awareness Coalition leads this work. The goal is to enhance belonging by creating a more inclusive, welcoming, and connected community. The beauty of this is that everyone can participate, and I hope you will too. We hope to be joining you and seeing you doing activities out in our community the last week in September. And we are entering year 3 of our work with the Baldrige Communities of Excellence. The goal of this work is to learn the Baldrige framework in order to collaborate more effectively, align, prioritize, and implement needed strategies, and engage more of our citizens in order to improve our community's performance and quality of life. We have 2 areas that we're focusing on, and we call these collaboration groups. The first is ensuring a living wage, and the second is attracting and retaining talent. On February 25th, they convened the advisory committee for the first time. We would love to have more community participation. If you are interested in working with either of these groups, please contact the Community Foundation and they can get you involved. Public Arts Midland continues to be very active. Last year, you saw the decorative pianos all around the community. And this summer, you will see a new festival. It's going to be called the Art Scene Festival. The festival will run concurrently with the Summer Art Fair, and it's going to focus on the creation of a community mural. The mural site will be located on the side of the Twice as Nice building, which is located on McDonald Street downtown. The committee, the Public Art Committee, is also in the process of accepting proposals for 2 new murals, which will be located under the M20 bridge. So this summer, we're going to see much more public art in Midland. Planning is underway for the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational. It is scheduled for the week of July 11th through 17th. The LPGA team event will once again welcome some of the world's finest female golfers to the Midland Country Club. Due to the pandemic, event officials are working very closely with local and state health officials, the City of Midland, Dow, and the LPGA to make sure safety precautions are in place. It was a wonderful event 2 years ago, and I know it will be a great event again this summer. If you're interested in volunteering, you can do so by signing up on their website. So let's take a walk around the community. One of the highlights last year was Costco. They opened in November, and I received a lovely note from them, thanking us for the warm welcome that Midland gave them. So I just want to say congratulations, everyone. Good job welcoming them to Midland. In June, Corteva will celebrate its second year as a standalone pure-play ag company. Midland is their largest manufacturing site and the home of many of their rapidly growing product lines. In order to keep up with the demand, they have expansion projects underway. This is not only an investment in their company, this is also an investment in our community. They are also very focused on being a good community partner. And to that end, they are in the process of organizing a community advisory panel to enhance their communications with the broader community. We have another new manufacturing company in our town. DuPont's nutrition and bioscience businesses merged with International Fragrance and Flavors, IFF. IFF is headquartered in New York. They have 250 employees here in Midland. Their manufacturing site is within the iPark, and they have a research facility north of town. We are very glad to have both of these companies here in Midland, and we're looking forward to working with them more. In 2018, Center City began working on their redevelopment plan. And in October, they received a $190,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to begin work on the Saginaw Road streetscape. They have a plan, a design, and a little bit of money. Fundraising efforts are continuing, so stay tuned. There's more to come. We have some new food businesses in the Center City area, and soon Midland Eye Associates will be opening their new expanded office, which is on the corner of Manor and Saginaw Road. Out at the mall, we are seeing new businesses. AutoZone, Harbor Freight, and Old Navy will be filling some of our larger vacant buildings along Joe Mann Boulevard. Though we miss the old businesses, it is good to see that new businesses are coming into town. Northwood University opened their Idea Center in downtown Midland. The Idea Center is a creative space that includes a podcast booth. It is for both Northwood students and the public to access. They invite you to come down, learn about it, and learn more about what they have to offer. And their esports team was named #1 in the country. Mid-Michigan Health. And we are very blessed to have a health system of this quality in our community. They have done an amazing job responding to the COVID crisis. From the very beginning with the test, when they had the early testing tents, to the distribution of the vaccine. And while they were doing all of this, they have remained committed to giving our community a safe, reliable place to receive care. In addition to this, they opened their new Heart and Vascular Center in November. And they are currently working on purchasing the Sears building in the Midland Mall to house their secondary data center and other office personnel. These changes will allow Mid-Michigan to prepare future space for a proposed cancer center, which will be on their Midland campus. The Midland Center for the Arts is celebrating its 50th anniversary. And last week, they introduced their Pendulum Lounge, a gathering space with new decor, fun food and drinks, and a variety of entertainment that will be opened every Thursday night. They're going to start indoors in this new, huge, socially distanced space and will be moving outdoors as weather allows. Fun summer programs are also on the horizon, starting with the art fair the first weekend in June. And outdoor entertainment will continue to be happening throughout the summer. This summer, you will also be hearing much more about the Broadway series. Moving downtown. We have beautiful new signage welcoming you to this area, and it was completed in November. This was a gift to our community from the Kepler Family Foundation. We also have some new businesses downtown: Aviation Cookies, Au Macaron, and Astor Farm to Table. Now, while 2020 did present its share of challenges, it also gave us a chance to do things differently, to try something new. In response to the dining restrictions, downtown Midland introduced pedestrian plazas, allowing restaurants more outdoor dining space and visitors to have more room to move around. It was a huge hit, so much so that they're requesting to do it again in 2021. So be watching. We are going to have another fun summer in downtown Midland. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the community for their support of Raise Up Downtown Midland campaign. 2,500 gift cards sold out in less than 48 hours, infusing nearly $90,000 into downtown businesses during their greatest time of need. I think this shows what an incredibly generous community we are. Everything we just saw is proof to me, and I hope to you too, that we are better together. We did not let the difficulties and challenges set us back. I am so grateful to be a member of a community that is so resilient, so caring, so innovative, and so determined. Together, forward, bold, an exceptional place where everyone thrives. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Donker, for that great update and inspiring message. As we look forward to not getting just past the pandemic, but the dam failure event that's led to this historic flooding in our community. Your words really provided a wonderful perspective on where we've been and where we're going as a community. So thank you for you and the whole city council and the team's continued leadership. And now, as we've done in past several years, the Midland Area Community Foundation, great partners, will present their annual Citizenship Award. So for that, I'm going to turn it over to Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Community Foundation. Sharon.
Good morning. I'm Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO at Midland Area Community Foundation. Heartfelt thanks to Mayor Maureen Donker and our entire city team for their incredible efforts over the past year, their resilience, their tireless work, and their service in the face of really extraordinary challenges. And thanks to the entire community for the way that we've joined together to help our neighbors and passionately live our vision, Midland Together Forward Bold, an exceptional place where everyone thrives. So in partnership with the Midland Business Alliance and the City of Midland, we present an award each year at the State of the City address called the Citizenship Award. And this award is to recognize an individual who's unselfishly committed to making the community a better place by encouraging and helping others to employ civility, respect, and inclusiveness to make a difference. This award is not for volunteerism, leadership, or philanthropy, but rather to call attention to the how individuals engage in their community, looking for ways to bring about positive change. It's important to note that there's a fundamental difference between being a resident and being a citizen. And a citizen is engaged, active, and strives to make the community a better place. Additionally, a citizen brings ideas and concerns forward in a constructive, respectful manner in the face of a societal inclination toward divisive behavior. The goal of granting this award is to highlight the work of largely unheralded individuals who go about the doing in a manner that renders them an example to which other citizens would aspire to replicate. The award is meant to recognize individuals who are largely under the radar as they go about engaging in dialogue and action to bring about positive community change. So today, we're excited to introduce this year's award winner, Daniel Bizzell, to you. This individual is the youngest winner to date of the Citizenship Award, so congratulations. And a Midland native, this individual is co-owner of Ace Hardware and serves as chair of the Midland Downtown Business Association. He was integral in starting Movies on Main, and we really look forward to them continuing this year, and regularly contributes to other downtown activities and events. He and his Ace crew put up and take down the downtown holiday lights, and he finds so many ways to give. A grill used at the Emergency Operations Center during the flood, bags used in school lunch distributions during the pandemic closures, donuts to nonprofit organizations, drywall for flood survivors, just to name a few. One of those suggesting him for this award said the following: while he always gives great ideas and solutions for downtown discussions, Daniel spends his time listening for the real problem in things and then quietly goes about offering a way to make a difference. He fosters great rapport with the residents of Riverside Place because he wants to be a good neighbor to them and bring joy to their lives. Another said of Daniel, he's the calm of the storm and engages everyone in conversation. He's fair, respectful, and mindful of others, and is very well respected within the Midland community. Daniel and his wife Amy have 3 children, and he served as a soccer coach, Little League coach, picture parent, and junior achievement volunteer. So the Midland Area Community Foundation, along with the Midland Business Alliance and the City of Midland, is proud to recognize Daniel Bizzell as our Citizenship Award winner. Daniel exemplifies what it means to be a citizen who goes about setting an example of how to carry out business in a respectful, inclusive manner. His ongoing service and conduct are an example for all of us. So please join me in congratulating Daniel as a recipient of our 2021 Citizenship Award. In addition, a donation will be made to the community organization or organizations of Daniel's choice in his honor. Thank you for helping us recognize our Citizenship Award honoree, and have a wonderful afternoon. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon, and congratulations to Daniel Bizzell on being honored with the Citizenship Award. Well deserved. So as we wrap up today's program, again, just want to take a moment to express our gratitude to our event sponsor, Three Rivers Corporation and John Lynch, certainly to our Mayor, Maureen Donker, to the Midland Area Community Foundation and Sharon Mortensen, and to the fine people, folks at the City of Midland for all their assistance with the technology for today's event. We appreciate all of you joining us for our first quarter membership program, and we're looking forward to a productive and prosperous year ahead. Have a wonderful afternoon.